Hi everyone, welcome back to Dating Dog TV. My name is Nadia and we have Tony here again. It's the Christmas special, so you know what? We were pretty festive. Who did better? Let us know in the comments. I'm just kidding, it's not a competition.
No, I'm not.
But also, I just had to show off this hat.
Ooh, player hat.
I mean, come on. We had to be festive. It's
You know
a
what I'm
Christmas special. We had to go all out as much as we can to make it fun today. Welcome back to Dating Dog TV, where we put a fun and positive spin on modern dating. So, Tony, how you doing today? Feeling festive?
Feel real festive. I'm ready for all the things I shouldn't eat so I can get back in the gym in January.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that what everybody says? They say that they'll start in January. Do you actually start?
I mean, I think about starting and then I start. So I'm thinking about it already. So I think I am.
I guess that's kind of okay. You're at least thinking about it. Sorry if you see me doing this a lot. I'm really going to show off the hat here. I have to.
You know what I'm saying?
I have to. It's one time only. Come on.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Just a reminder today, stay tuned, especially the men who are watching, because we have a special promo code just for you, okay? Just for the men for our next Dating Dog event on December 29th, okay? Stay tuned. Sorry, women, but men are getting the special treatment today with the promo code that is coming later, okay? So stay tuned to find out. So, got our Christmas special up today. So, also, we want to let you know that we're going to use some of the donations or the ones that you send over to the PayPal link for them. So that way you can donate to help purchase toys for the Elf Louise Christmas Project, okay? So this is a local charity in town. So we wanted to bring the holiday cheer not just to us, but to also kids in need. And remember, special reminder, we do have a speed dating event coming up on December 29th. You can head over to thedatingdoc.com, click events, to find out, grab your spot, get tickets. Also, check us out on Eventbrite. Okay, just a reminder, this event is for the age group of 40 to 60s. Promo code coming up for men later on in the podcast. Alrighty, so today we have a few things to talk about. We have cuffing season. We're going to talk about 3 different types of situationships that happen during this time of year, meaning that, it's not just like a real relationship. It's just like, well, we just happen to be in town. We just happen to get together, but nothing's of it. So what does that mean? Because there's always one side where they're like, oh, I thought this was going to be serious. And then the second part of it is like, no, it was not serious. Why would you think that? So we're going to get into more detail about that today and see how that happens, because I know a lot of people that do that this time of year. What about you, Tony?
I'm not serious. I'm not serious. No.
Well, there you go. He gave your answer straight up that he's not serious.
It's not serious.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's just get right into it. Okay, so there's 3 different types of situationships, and first one being right here is 3 types. We have safety net, shielding, and promising. Okay, so these all have 3 different meanings. So let's get into them. So safety net, number 1. Okay, so some singles may choose to rekindle a comforting old fling, which is known as safety netting, staying in your comfort zone for the meantime, and it's only for the holidays.
Oh, yeah, seasonal.
Yeah, exactly. So getting into it's just seasonal. Yeah. So what do you think about that, Tony?
I mean, it's great for birthday pics. It's great for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is usually tough for everybody. You know what I mean? They want to see you look better. They want to see you move on. It's definitely great for Christmas. If you definitely did not show up for Thanksgiving for whatever reason, you have a second chance to get it together for Christmas. And, for some of those people that did not have that special date, if your family's pressing you, you're already creeping up on those late 20s, early 30s, and grandma and mom is pressing you for grandkids, and they're like, are you even dating? And are you like, you give them the big eyes and, how much you work. It's great when you have that person that maybe they're familiar with and be like, look, we're just showing up for this. I'm not giving no rings and I'm not accepting any rings. We just showing up. I show up to your family for your stuff because you ain't got nobody. Now you just show up for mine. You know what I mean? And you somebody I'm comfortable with. So that's kind of what people do. They get comfortable. Like, I know this person. I know you're not going to cut up and start talking about why we're really not a total couple, why I haven't posted you on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We just here. And so it fits, especially for Valentine's Day if you're lonely, and you just don't feel like really dealing with it. You don't want to be inside. You're tired of seeing people hold hands and do all that. You got that. Some people, mostly I've heard of it for women, they have that one person like, look, he's safe. We can go out to dinner. And I know it's not going to be nothing weird. He knows we're not that serious. It's just because we both single and we understand each other and we understand why we're not totally official. So it's just something to get us out the house.
Yeah, this is awesome because I feel like this time of year, people they get really lonely. And this is the biggest reason why situationships happen because people get lonely or they kind of get FOMO of like, well, during this time of year, I feel like there's always lots of things that, I mean, you can totally do these by yourself, but I feel like they're always marketed like everywhere, like as a couple, whether you go do Christmas things, like it's never marketed by yourself. Like, do you ever notice that? Like your marketing campaigns, like for all things Christmas and all things New Year's, it's literally couples, families. It's never by yourself.
Never.
It's never like, oh, enjoy the single life by yourself on the ice skating ring.
No,
like it's
you
never like
you never
that.
see that, right? You never see anybody just at Starbucks enjoying their coffee alone. You never see. All you see it is every kiss begins with K.
But that's a couple. Right?
It's a couple, right? Somebody got to get that ring, right? So it gets really, really aggravating, and it pushes the narrative that if you're by yourself, even by choice, if you're by yourself, there's something wrong with you because everyone has somebody. And it's like, there's nothing wrong. What if I chose this? What if I just chose which could have been for most guys, the cheaper route? I chose to be single, so I wouldn't have to have that pressure, or that Mary Kay commercial that comes up.
I know, that's a lot of pressure. We have one comment here that says, I laugh when divorced relatives are out there telling me why I don't have someone, exclamation points. Yeah, I was just talking about this with someone yesterday that this person's 39 and they're single and they don't really have any marriage ambitions. And it's just like, they always feel the pressure of like, well, why don't you have, a partner? Why aren't you married? But I feel like there's a lot of pressure nowadays going into marriage.
But it's always the person that's done had the worst relationships talking about, oh, what happened to your relationship? And I want to be, it's family, so you try not to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to start no fight. I just want my food and go home. But it's like, you be like, what happened to your relationship? That's probably why I'm not in one. You know what I'm saying? Your 9 last relationships weren't that great. You know what I mean? It's always the divorcees asking about relationships and stuff until, you turn the tables. But yeah, you have pressure. You know what I mean? You get a little older and like, you're getting big. So time to bring some good little family members around.
I know. That's a good comment right here. It says, for real, is it about marriage or about being happy, right? It's like, what if I'm totally happy being by myself?
Well, nobody even asked if I was happy first. They just start putting pressure on my nieces and my cousins' ovaries about kids and marriages and junk. They're over pressing on my loins about, am I going to get a little junior around here? I'm like, hey man, press up off my loins, all right?
I know. It has a lot of pressure, and I feel like this is why safety net is very popular. I'm not saying that everybody does it, but and maybe they don't even think about it as like safety net in general. But it's always when you're just like, oh, he's a old fling, or like I talked to him back in the summer. Maybe he wants to join me for a few, Christmas things or related things like that. And it's like, that's the point of like safety, is that you're just falling back to someone that you think is comfortable.
Yeah, and the only time that gets really bad is like when they start pressing the guest. You know what I mean? And I did that for a friend of mine. We weren't dating, but she knew the pressure was on her. She was creeping them to them ages, and she was like, they've been pressing me. All my brothers and sisters have had kids. All of them have been married and divorced, and I ain't even had a serious relationship because you just show up as a friend. And it's cool. I knew the routine. Shake and wave. How you doing, sir? Waved everybody. And because there were no rings and nothing like that, no Facebook posts, and nobody was going to be pressing me like, what are your intentions with my daughter? What are your intentions with my niece? You know what I mean? So it was like none of that. But somebody who had too much of that special stuff mess around and start asking me these questions like, well, how long y'all been dating? I'm like, what did she say we were dating? Did she say that? I'm like, we're just friends. I'm like, come on, a man and a woman around. What are you guys doing? I mean, wasting time. And I'm like, yo, where is the trail mix around here? Can somebody cut on Home Alone?
Oh my gosh, speaking of Home Alone, that is my favorite Christmas movie, or at least one of my
You know what I'm
favorite, I'd
saying?
say.
It is my favorite for sure. It's a go-to. Outside of Jim Carrey's The Grinch, nobody's done it better since him. So those are back to back. I'm watching my Home Alone all the way through, and then I'm watching Jim Carrey after that. And I'm settled. I'm good.
Honestly, I feel that. Well, I think it's time to tell our viewers what the number 2 is. Okay, so we're talking about shielding situationship. So shielding is, he was talking about this a little bit, like if family and friends have ever made you feel bad for not having a significant other, to take the holiday festivities, like you're not alone. Like there's a lot of people that are literally like in this boat. There's a lot of people, especially the ones that are on apps that are talking about like they face this every year where they're like, my family is always saying, why don't you have somebody? Why don't you have somebody? And it's like, this is where it comes like this tension, like mainly for you to like shield yourself with the situationship, basically to appease your loved ones, meaning that you're just doing it to make them happy. And then that's literally it. Like you're not even in it for the fun. You're literally just in it. So that way it's like, oh, okay, fine. Like my parents will get off my back because I'm kind of dating someone. Or like, oh my God, yes, you brought someone to Christmas. Oh, how fun. Or you're going to bring someone to New Year's, that kind of thing. And I feel like shielding is really, really bad, especially if you just like, it's just for this one time, it's just for this one time. But what if that happens all the time? And then your parents start like bringing up even worse, where they're like, why do you have someone different every year? And it's just like, oh, well.
That was my problem. Yeah.
It's just like, well, you see here, I didn't really want to date, but I just happened to bring someone just because, and then obviously you don't want to say this to your parents out loud. You don't want to say like, well, it's because you're always coming at me with, why don't you have someone?
Yeah, you're putting pressure on the ovaries and the loins, all right? You just lay off that. But yeah, they feel like, I guess family, they do it because they feel like there's no way you'll be serious in life without having responsibilities. And they feel like managing the emotions of someone else is definitely a part of maturity. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing good enough. I'm doing good enough, back then. But it was just like, that pressure comes on. And I see this now, this little safety net situation. I see it now a lot in the other community. The other community, the outside of the heterosexual community, they're definitely doing it because, again, nobody has really accepted them for their changes or whatever that's got going on. And they may do that to kind of shield because they don't not ready for that conversation. So it's like, I see that more in that other one. But I mean, definitely for the other side is like, and the pressure is on. Your auntie, your grandma, your uncle, whoever. Everybody's putting that pressure to say, hey, what's going on with your life. And I think it's just better, to probably have that conversation. But I understand if they, when it's mom and dad, they still paying tuition, and you don't want to put that pressure. They still paying that cell phone bill, and you just, you laugh at all the jokes they send you and them weird videos they send you, like, because you don't want to get them to take you off there in car insurance and everything like that. So it's like you do enough to appease, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like that, and you do a little bit to stay safe, to stay relevant, to keep the peace in the house, to kind of pass through, But there's some tips to that. You could do like we're doing right now. You dress up in a very festive outfit, okay, and just start changing the subject. The subject starts being about what you got on versus who you brung or did not bring. Put on some festive clothes and bring the Home Alone series up. Be like, hey, let's talk about Home Alone. Did anybody remember that part when the robbers got fried? Just start changing up the subject. You can't go wrong. But before you know it, an hour or two went by, and then you start talking about, hey, I got to study for some stuff I got going on, and just act like you got a headache, and then just mosey your way back out the door. It worked for me for years. It's a charm thing to do.
Oh my gosh. Well, we do have one more situationship that happens during this time of year. I don't think I've never done shielding because I just can't do that. I can't be fake with myself. I can't be fake with myself or my family either. Like I can't just be like, yes, I am dating this stranger who doesn't exist, and they will be here next Christmas. And then it comes about to that, and it's just like, nope, no. And it just keeps asking all these questions of like, what's happening? What's happening? It's happening. Oh my gosh. This looks like a question for Tony here in the chat.
What's up with it?
Here it is.
What am I bringing a regular to a Black household? What if families start looking funny? Oh, well, they start looking at you funny. Then you just say, this is about me being happy. You know what I mean? This is about me being happy. I am, yes, because of my dark complexion of melanin, still I am mixed breed. My family is from Jamaica and I have other parts here, but I'm the first generation born in the United States. So, we're very mixed, broad of people. And so we get that, you know what I mean? Like I said, you embrace it by saying, I'm being happy. They're gonna look, she's the lightest person in the room. So yeah, you start coming in there, and I've been in those situations where I was the darkest person in the room. That was awkward, but I naturally am funny, so I was able to get out of that. So you can look up some good dad jokes. There's some good TikToks and you know what I'm saying, Instagram posts out there, and everybody likes a person that is good with sense of humor. And you know this as a Black person, we love a sense of humor. We love emotionalism. So I mean, yeah, tell her to kind of brush up on some jokes. Make sure it's not the, hey, there was a Black guy, a white guy, and a Mexican guy. Tell her leave all those alone. They might not fall out too well, but just find some other jokes. You know what I'm saying? Some Kevin Hart or whatever. You know what I mean? Some other people jokes, and just tell her be yourself, because just like she was saying, family's gonna find out that something's a little off. Tell her to be herself, but try to invite her by just allowing her to be more funny and more, into her comic side, so that way it can be more inviting. You know what I mean? And that's what I did when I was in that situation. It was years ago, but I was invited to. I was dating a Hispanic girl, and I didn't know any Spanish, so I already knew, one, I'm gonna be the darkest one in the room, and I'm the only one who doesn't speak Spanish, so it was gonna be awkward. And the one thing that I became the joke of the party, because I ate a tamale without taking the skin apart. It was really funny. I thought.
Oh my gosh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. She didn't tell me about that. So I was like, it was like, oh, we got tamales, because it's around that time, right? So I'm like, oh, we got tamales. So grandma comes out with a big load of them. And so the pressure's on now, right? Everybody's like, are you going to eat it? Are you going to eat it? I know it's not fried. Are you going to eat it? So I'm like, yeah, I eat different food. I don't just eat fried chicken and I don't just eat plantains and jerk chicken and curry. I can eat other stuff. I'm cultural, man. And I definitely picked that whole sucker up like it was like a hot dog. And I literally just.
And you were like, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever had.
Hey, I didn't say anything. I was just like, this is really.
You're like, this is what people crave for season.
I'm just looking at her like, you crave this once a year? You can't wait for this? I was like, some parts of it's actually pretty good, but there's another like papery something that's, And everybody was sitting, and I couldn't get why everybody was laughing. I was like, have they not seen Baby Beat Tomatoes before? I mean, me neither, but I didn't think it was that funny until she was like, you weren't supposed to eat that part. And I was like, oh.
You're like, jokes on y'all.
I knew that. I knew that. Y'all don't understand. There's flavor in this little paper skin. Yeah, so I became a joke that day, and I was able to kind of wheeze through. So they understood I was able to embrace. So same thing. Just as long as she's willing to embrace everybody, she's cool.
This question's also for you. This was a little bit earlier, but he was like, say it in front of her, or what do I do? And he was asking about your previous question.
Oh, so yeah. So say that like prior to her getting there. Don't show up to your house, man, and then be like, oh, by the way, like, nah, man, it's too soon. She's gonna be sweating. You know what I mean? Help her. Y'all look up some funny stuff together, okay? Y'all got so many, almost a week, a little less than a week for Christmas, okay? So maybe somebody's party's coming up, all right? Maybe this weekend, right? So y'all start looking up some Netflix and chill, and or some TikTok and scrolling together, and y'all start looking up some funny stuff that you think is funny, and then just see y'all rehearse that together, get her comical side going, you know what I mean? So that way she gets comfortable with that. when she can bypass. Because once she makes us laugh, oh, she's good. She passed. She's okay. Once she laughs, she got some little culture. She's good. She finds stuff funny. She'll pass. She'll be all right.
This is also kind of funny. He also said, he was talking about someone he brought, and then he's like, they loved her because of the rice and beans.
See what I'm saying? So it's like she can bring a dish, you know what I mean, or something. But be careful with that. You know what I mean? I know some people just feel like raisins go on everything around this time of year, and it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's okay. So just, you know what I'm saying, just let her, you can bypass on that part, you know what I'm saying? Like she know how to make a mean trail mix. I mean, we love the snack, so bring that. She can put a mean trail mix together, and she'd be good for that. And then, just like I said, make sure that she's being herself and find some jokes that she thinks is funny, and that way she can carry along with the conversation. You know what your people are. If y'all real big on sports, brief her up a little bit. Most, the women in my family are real big on sports, so they can talk it. And they're really big on certain sports like tennis and stuff like that. So I'm not that big on tennis, but I watch it with them, and I know, when to engage and not to engage. You know what I'm saying? When we start talking about stats, I kind of just weed on out. But I'm like, yo, that was a good hit right there. Everybody get excited. You cheer when they cheer. You start watching body emotions. You see somebody like, come on, go. You're like, who they cheering for?
And definitely the opposite. I think that's where I get in good sometimes with the males, because I'm always like, I am a big sports person, especially for basketball and for football. And when it comes to the stat stuff, actually, I stay in the conversation because people get surprised like that. I can also like stat pat with them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you watch football, or like, oh, you really do. You pay attention. It's I truly do love the sports. So yes, I am not just guessing. Obviously, because at that point, I'm like throwing out like stats and stuff. It's like, oh, you do pay attention. It's like, yeah, because I love it. I love to watch it. I love to see it. I always get notifications all the time on the Bleacher Report app, like, this is happening, and this is happening, this is happening.
Yeah, our little company meeting at 54th Street was definitely a shocker. Like, she definitely held up. I was sitting there like, oh, man, come on, man. She was over there like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do, because if we got traded, then I'm like, oh, she knows about the trades?
I keep up with it all.
I was like, that's a homie. See, she be, if she wasn't in her current situation, she be safe for a safe net situation, because you can bring her around, right? And then y'all don't have to be like y'all date, but she can keep up. Everybody start talking about, who's gonna play for the holidays and this, that, and the other. She'll run that.
It's a good distraction.
Yeah. So like I said, good distractions. You know what I mean? That they don't have to know all about her. Because to be honest, you don't know all about her right now. That's right. That's why y'all still dating, right? You still trying to figure her out too. And that's what I don't get with family. You bring these people that you're dating, meaning I'm getting to know them, and they start asking these weird questions about credit scores and what job and their career path. I'm like, dude, I don't know. She was just somebody cute by the snack bar, and I said, what's up? She said, what's up back? I'm just still getting to know her. Be asking me all that. I don't know. And they get all mad because you don't know, right? And you're like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to get to know her. He's like, hold up, she's singing, what's her situation?
You can't be throwing dirty laundry out there. That's not fair.
It's not like that type of situation, my guy.
Not that I have any.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, it's still, somebody's in a relationship. So yeah, you can't just pull her out like that. She had to talk to her significant other to say, hey.
Funny.
She had to talk to her significant other to say, hey, somebody needs to pull me for a Christmas party. Is it okay if I be back?
You know what? That's probably more common than you think.
Yeah. I got some people do that to me. So what's our next one?
All right, this is the last one out of the three. So the last one, we have the promising situationship. So here, this is where, people, when it comes to like cuffing season, because it happens right now, they don't really think about that it's going to be long term. They just think about like, I'm just doing it to do it. That's kind of it, kind of thing. And so when they get into this, like, but this is probably the most positive one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Because this one actually goes into, hence the name promising, that actually that this, cuffing season or situationship kind of thing actually turns into something. So this is one that, because it's called promising, this is when it's like, oh, like, I was just dating you just because I needed something for Christmas
Oh,
or New
yeah.
Year's, and then whoa, it actually turned into something else. So
Yeah.
that's the thing there. So I don't know how common these ones are, but I feel like the promising one is probably like where both people go into it like, this doesn't happen.
You know what? I currently am in a serious relationship based off of, not based off of it, but that was involved. It was a friend of mine. We had always been friends. We've been friends for years. And I didn't mind being around. It's just, you know what I mean? That kind of happened. And so we would kind of just like, if she was working or not working or whatever, we sometimes, if we were in the same city, we'll video chat and just, I go out. I didn't mind going out to dinner by myself, and we'll go out to dinner, and I'll do a video chat with her while she takes herself out to dinner or whatever on Valentine's Day, because you see the couples and the hearts and the this and the that. You sitting at home, and you want to do something. You can feel the energy in the air. You feel like I shouldn't be at home right now. I should be out. But who you going out with, right? So, and I don't want to crowd the bar with, just a bunch of dudes. So I'm like, all right, there ain't no real games. Just like I said, Valentine's Day. And I just like, yeah, well, we had such a great conversation, and the waiter's coming by and, oh, does your person, mind if you have a drink? And I'm on my video phone like, nah, she don't mind because she's not here. So she's here on the phone. And like I said, we had such a great conversation. I had to definitely go back and readjust that conversation and be like, hey, that was a lot of fun. I know we've been friends for almost a decade, but that was a lot of fun. So we had to make something happen to where eventually we meet up in person, and still dating to this day. But again, these are positive things that can happen in that situation. That, hey, if you have a lot of fun, you know what I mean? Like I said, you might have to go through your friends list and pull somebody out of the friend zone. I done friend zone a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And the person I'm in a serious relationship with now, she was in a friend zone. She was safe. I could bring her around family and tell her bye. You know what I mean? But yeah, that one Valentine's Day, I was like, yo, yeah, this is gotta be it. Got some more people in there.
He said, let's see, he said the issue is all the energetic, or I guess energy during the holidays, and then they die off and they're back at work. I'm saying dating.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It does happen that way, and this is where the promising thing becomes, because it's the potential. It's the potential that you could pull somebody in to just be like, hey, I need you to stand in for the family. They're gonna really sweat me. I'm just trying to go in here, have fun. I want to see my cousins and my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, and I want to have a good time and go home. And before you know it, you might end up finding some type of a bond out of that. And what we're saying in this situation is, if you're like I was, not serious, you might want to leave some space to be serious. You know what I mean? To say, hey, this could have been something. We had some fun, didn't we? And not just push somebody off and be like, well, you probably didn't think nothing of it. We had fun, I ate tamales with you. And now we're going back to work and back to my cubicle and 3 walls. You know what I mean? No, it could have been something special, So keep that in mind and look, for those situations that could turn, because some of the best relationships, in my opinion, people are friends first. So, the type of relationships, these that we were talking about, so I see you're asking about what type of relationships we were talking about, is the situational ships. And you just do it because of the situation. And right now we're using that. A lot of people do this during these holiday seasons. They use, friends to help them through tough interactions with family and friends. And so they pull this person and say, look, there's a company party coming up and everybody's going to bring somebody. And I don't want to be alone. Can you show up?
Oh, he wants to know the names. Oh, so there
are,
it's safety netting, shielding, and promising. Those are the 3 situationships. Yeah, so it's safety net, shielding, and promising.
And yeah, this has been happening for years. It's just in our generation, we're actually starting to label things because people want to know where they stand. You don't just want to find out something happened. No, I want to know where we are. You know what I mean? And this is a good way to identify, you know, where you are with somebody. You know, was this just because you needed to get around your family? Was it something special? You know, or do you think that we have, you know, some potential in where we're going? So it's like having these situations to help people emotionally gather what's happening, because you could think something, again, like I said, sometimes this goes one-sided. Sometimes it's one person thinking that it's something special, and the other person is, you know, like myself, not taking it serious. You're thinking, man, I just need to get by my family. That's all. I just needed somebody not to sweat me. And again, it's just a conversation. It gets risky. I would definitely start reading body language. Don't listen to the family. If you're the person, you know, that's the guest, don't be listening to the family, because they're going to always push the narrative that it's a relationship. So if you can't start catching some feelings, don't listen to the family. Listen to the person that invited you, and read body language to see if they're really trying to give you the signs that they starting to think that this could be something more than a situational ship. You know what I mean? And like I said, some, you know, nice people out there, if you're a nice guy, nice girl, you typically get into these situations where you're always asked to be the nice person and just show up and leave. You know, could you just help me with this Christmas party? Could you help me with the family thing? Could you help me around Thanksgiving? Valentine's Day is coming up. If you ain't got nobody, can we just go kick it at a restaurant and just go out as friends? But again, like I said, if you're the one that's not serious, just keep it in mind that it could be. You could have found your soulmate. You just put them in the friend zone and you didn't know that, hey, I didn't know you was a potential. I wasn't even looking at you like that. And if you're the other person catching feelings, don't press the person so hard to make a relationship out of it. Let it be natural, because if you force it and the person feels bad, I've seen situations like this. They force the situation so much and they force a relationship, and one person is just like, we were cool as friends, but I'm not digging this. You know what I mean? And then, you know, and then a great friendship ends because a relationship got forced. So again, just be open-minded about how you go into the holiday season, into these, you know, situational ships, you know what I mean, as you cruise the holiday season. So be open-minded about either side.
There you go, be mindful. So we just wanted to send a quick reminder out to everyone. So ways to keep our channel supported, especially this holiday season. So this is our quick like donation tiers. So like if you send at least $10, you can receive some expert advice for one dating related question from our CEO himself. And then if you go up to 25, you'll get half off your next event. And then also the question answered. And then if you donate 50, you basically also get everything above. And you get a personal thank you video from me and Tony. Or if you're like, I just want Tony or I just want Nadia, you can also let us know if you send that much. Seriously, like if you're like, I just want a thank you video from Nadia in her Star Wars shirt, I would. And Tony too, or you're like, both of you have to be in there. We'll do that too. So talking about dating and situations, let's get into like a little bit lighter topic of what about some date night ideas here in San Antonio. If you're local to San Antonio, please drop some ideas in the chat. These are some that we were thinking of earlier. So if you're in San Antonio, here are some date ideas. So we have Elsewhere, it's a bar. So they have a Christmas and a Grinch setup, which is awesome. There's also a local ice skating rink downtown. You know, UIW has the lights there that you can see. There is a light also at the San Antonio Botanical Garden. There's a light park. SeaWorld, I just went there. They also have really nice lights. And then who doesn't want to do the lights nice and also go on the rides? Come on. And it was nice and cool, so it wasn't really hot. And then on top of that, we also have, or maybe you don't want to do any of that and you actually just want to go stay at your house. And look, we have home hot talkie with Netflix. And it's like, I love this meme with when it says, when someone says hot talkie with Grogu on their screen. I mean, that's great. Like, I literally love everything about that. Do you have any other suggestions, Tony, that you want to tell them?
No, not really. Those are the hot spots. Those are the places to be. So, you know what I mean? You go out there, and like I said, if you take somebody that you're wanting to make a situational ship person, You know what I mean? You can take them there, and yeah, you will mess around and find out if this is where you can do a test trial era. If you want to make somebody a potential person. What I mean? So you can go out there in these places. The scenery is nice, the atmosphere is nice, and you'll be able to have great conversation there. And if you're not great with conversation, you know what I'm saying? The scenery is nice enough for you to make some conversation. Okay? So it's great places. I don't have any more suggestions on that.
Do you mean hot chalky is a new one for me? You mean like the word itself, or like hearing the phrase? Like hearing the hot chalky? I think that's what he means. I was like, that's pretty funny. Let's see. He also said this. He says, walking around Target, finding them wives is my holiday tradition. Oh my gosh.
You're going to go to Target, find somebody.
There's actually been a lot of videos I see on Instagram that they do this. Like, they're like, ooh, date night ideas. And it's like where you go out to Target with your significant other.
Yes.
And you're supposed to like do this kind of like scavenger hunt-esque thing where it's like, go find their favorite candy, go find their favorite drink, go find like a nice new top or something like that, or like something for fun. And those always look super fun, and they look like they're easy to do. But I'm wondering if like you spend like the money that you spend there, like is that equivalent to like a dinner of some sort, or like is that worth it? Like to go to Target and like buy this candy and drink and some random few items, or I guess you could just go to dinner, or you could, I mean, if you want, like you don't have to do dates that spend money. Like I'm all about like, doing dates that don't cost money. Like you don't always have to spend money, right? Like you can just like, you can go out to the picnic, you can go for a hike, you can go out kayaking. Like you can, I feel like there's a lot of free stuff. There's a lot of dates that don't have a price tag to it that I feel like that people don't take advantage of. Like I feel like there's a lot of pressure nowadays to always spend money. Like you have to spend money on this person. You have to take them out
guys,
here.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
you feel that pressure.
I'm trying to help you guys out and give you a break. I'm just like, you know what? I'm kind of fine.
Because let's be honest, you're spending on someone you don't know. You don't really know them, especially if it's like, again, you met them somewhere just random. You don't know them like that. So to spend, is big. So it's like there's a lot of ways. Like Nada was talking about, there's a lot of ways that you can get around just having to drop a lot of money. And then for them to turn around and be like, oh, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? And you'd be like, man, I'm trying to save up for the next date because maybe the other one, maybe the next one could be the one. And I didn't drop the $100 on her. And I'm like, I got to wait, see if I can do the same for the next one, So, there's other ways and places you can go. You can meet up at, like she said, meet up at parks. You can go hiking. You can just take a walk. You know what I mean? And then, of course, fellas, let's be mindful of the fact that if you're meeting up with a woman, she's not going to want to meet up always alone with you if she doesn't know you that well neither. So try to think of public places that you could meet up and just have that conversation. You can meet up if you want to make it still like a date-ish thing. Meet up at Starbucks. I mean, they can get a little pricey, but still, we having coffee. You know what I mean?
Coffee and chill out in public, so it's safe, right?
It's safe. Barnes and Noble, pick a buck. You know what I mean? And y'all conversate on that. So it's those things. Barnes and Noble would be a nice place actually to meet up for me. I would do that quite often.
This is a more obscure one, but I'm a fitness instructor, and you get your first class free. So sometimes it'd be like, oh, if you want to come try out my Pilates class, it's first class is free. I feel like that's like another free option, that I'm also throwing out there.
Get your Planet Fitness or something like that. Get your little add on, yeah.
And it's kind of funny because I actually did that to someone, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't think that like Pilates is hard, or like I didn't think that what I thought you were would be like when you're up there with the mic and talking and pushing us through it and stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a different ball game. It's super fun though. Like I love doing it all the time."
Yeah, I think she'll pump the mess out of me out of there. I'm sitting over here talking about something. I got it. I can do 275. I got it. I'm over here struggling. So,
but can you do balance exercises? That's the trick in Pilates. It's a lot of core and a lot of strength. I know you can't see it here because I'm wearing this oversized shirt, but I'm not saying I'm ripped, but I definitely have a very, very strong core and balance.
Yeah, she gets super aggressive. Turns the Hulk Hogan in there.
Let's see.
Come on, brother.
He said Barnes and Noble, Lock and Terra the spot. Yeah, I agree. That's a good one.
It is.
Let's see. What is this? Another comment. He said, every woman I run into talking about I need to bless their cash app. Oh my gosh.
We already gotta bless the cash app, and I don't even know your middle name.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Look, you guys don't have to spend money. There's lots of free ideas and alternatives for sure.
All the time.
It's just a matter of, I guess, people being creative and not feeling like either men or women have to feel this pressure of like, we have to go out for or we have to go out for dinner, or you have to wine and dine me on the first date. I feel like that's a little much, especially if the expectation is always like, well, the man's gonna buy it, right? But I have run into a lot of my female friends that have said like, yeah, you'll get lucky if you go out on a date like that and man pays for it. And I'm like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh, so men have definitely just straight up been like, you got this, right? Or they, I don't know if they do this like the 50-50, like even on a date one. That hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to others, and I feel like that's a big turn off for women. But I don't know. But it's also, it's like one of those things, if that was out of your price range, and I feel like that should not pressure you to do that. Like if you're like, no, that's too much, it's too expensive, and I feel like everyone should have it in them to be like, you know what, I don't want to spend all that money. How about we just go out for a hike, or how about we just go out for a cup of coffee? Because I feel like there's too much pressure in spending money all the time. I'm serious.
And I feel like for that situation, because I've seen a lot of these TikTok videos, I've seen a lot of these Instagram videos about that, and I see what you're saying about that being a walking ATM. My thing is, it is, for me, it's the red flag. If you're more interested in what I have versus who I am as a person, then I feel like it's not a good relationship, because in a relationship, I would rather you be more into me. Because again, even if I'm rich, like, not to drop this person's name really bad, but but still, like if whoever was dating, when R. Kelly or something like that, sure, 20 years ago, that sounds like an ideal thing. Like, oh man, he's got money, he's got notoriety, he can do this, he can do that. But now that isn't quite the case. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how famous you are or how much you have, your situation can change. And when those situations change, the problem is you don't want to have your situation change for people to find out how they really feel about you. You don't want things to get bad. What if I only like, what if I only like her when she's in fitness, but what if all of a sudden she has to have some surgery and they give her thyroid and she starts walking around like this, and all of a sudden I'm just like, well, I guess I'll let you know when I'm free. And it's like, oh, well, you was cool when I was the fitness girl, when I was doing all the Pilates, and everybody was like, and now that it's not that. Now you want to walk away, and you get and see those situations pop up, and you start to find out the bad way of how people really feel. So it's like, I feel like what Nadia was suggesting, that going to these places, you can really find out the person's into you, because if you don't like a person and you're going hiking, like you'll find out. You'll find out real fast.
Yeah, I 100%.
It won't take long. You won't even make it halfway.
Right here. He said, "What do y'all think that plenty of these women no longer treating us like humans and just a walking ATM?" No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying.
I was like, I see it a lot. That especially in like La Cantera areas, like rim areas. Like, that it's like really sad, but I definitely see it all the time where it's very obvious that, I mean, even I can tell just doing like the eye test of, I can tell that you're just kind of scouting the money aspect, or you're just kind of scouting. And I'm not saying that that's, a bad thing, because people do it. Like, I'm being honest, like they do it, and it's just like, I feel like on the other side of that, like if the man is okay with that, and he just completely is like, oblivious or ignorant to it, then I feel like then it kind of cancels out. And it's like, well, you know what she's doing. You know what she's doing. Yeah. So it's like, well, then I guess,
Yeah, because on the
there's no compromise then.
Right, because on the opposite side, there are men out there, they don't really care about how intelligent she is. They don't care about, they're looking for something like Tinder. So they're interested.
Especially if the female is like extremely, extremely attractive, then they're like, well, this is what I get. Like, you can spend my money and you just look like a ball.
So again, it almost falls into a weird situationship situation. But again, everybody's finding what they're looking for. And if everybody's happy with that, cool. But we're talking to people, like I said, we're putting the healthy side of dating back in. And we're just only warning you about the precautions of people who are out here for other intentions. Mm-hmm. So if you're actually looking for something serious and you want to be safe, and you want to have a good connection, again, look for those red flags. Check your comment section. go back over and start seeing if they're asking about what you drive and what you do. Like they're checking for the money. Like I said, not totally a bad thing. Everybody kind of does it in their own way. But again, just make sure that the intentions are there about for your personality and everything like that. Same thing for women. If he just keeps asking about, I don't know, what you can fit on, he keeps asking for more pictures more than he's interested in having a conversation. Obviously, he's not really into someone that with intelligence or politeness. He's just looking for, what he can get. So it's like, again, you just look through your comics and your connection and your conversation to see exactly what people are looking for. You know what I mean? And that way you can manage the relationship you have with people and what type of conversation you have with people. Because again, you'll find out, and you don't want to find out the hard way, but you will find out eventually. And like I said, if the girl is just interested in the money, you'll find out through what she asks you and everything like that, because the conversation would always lead to more finances. But when you find somebody that is more interested into what's your favorite color, your hobbies, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, they're getting to know you. Those are things that have something to do with you, whether you're broke or you're rich or whatever. It's just about you as an individual. And those are the type of conversations you want to start having about, favorite colors, likes, hobbies, because that's knowing a person. But when you start talking about what your job is, what your career preference is, what car do you drive, what type of clothes do you like to wear, all of that takes money. You know what I'm saying? So you want to, again, look at that conversation. And same thing for the women, not leaving y'all out. If you keep finding a guy and he keeps asking you for more pictures, because we're visual creatures, if we keep asking you for more pictures and we're not having this conversation, we don't want to talk about favorite colors, personality types, our favorite football team, basketball team. What do we like to do? What do we do when we're sad, happy? What do we have? If you're into fashion, what color do you wear when you're happy? See, these conversations have everything to do with personality outside of body preference. And so if he keeps asking for more pictures and diverting, then you know what you're getting. So be careful out there.
Alrighty, you guys have waited long enough, literally, for the men. So I just want to remind you, there is a promo code specifically for men, and the promo code is more men to get 25% off your ticket for the next speed dating event. If you're so excited and want to meet new people, if you're in the age group here, so that way you can get out, meet some new people, staying in the mid 40s to 60s age group, okay? Don't worry, this isn't the only age group we have. This just happens to be the next one, okay? So once again, promo code for men is more men, 25% off your ticket. Alrighty, this is where we also want to talk about the nonprofit that we mentioned earlier. So just want to spread some holiday cheer. So just please look at the QR code up there if you want to donate to their PayPal. So just a little background about the Elf Louise Project. So like I said, QR code's at the top if you want to donate to their PayPal. So the Elf Louise Project is, a local organization, and they help disadvantaged children. No, this entire organization is 100% volunteer. Everyone there is because they want to be there for the love and the heart and the joy of Christmas. This dates back all the way to 1969. So this has been around for a while. And since I think in last year, they helped over 5,000 families, and they helped almost 20,000 children. So just a reminder, the Elf Louise Christmas Project is a nonprofit organization and is staffed by all volunteers and funded by donations. So if you guys can have just a little bit of some spare anything that you want to give to this nonprofit today, or people that would like to do this, please share that link their way. Alrighty, we do have one more thing we want to quickly talk about. So if you're single during this time of year, do you stay single, or what do we do?
If you're single around this time of year, do you stay single?
Yeah, like if you're single right now, like, is it just better to stay single right now and avoid all these situationships that we just talked about? Or do you get back in the pool and, somehow, some way find yourself in these apps and you're just like, whatever, like, I'm bored, I have to go out, I have to be with someone, etc. So what do you think? Do you think it's better if people are single that they should just stay single for the rest of the year, going to the new year? Or do you encourage them, like, you know what? Keep doing it. Keep trying to find someone. Hopefully it's not a situationship, but
it is better in the pool. Okay, not playing. I think I just keep your options open. Let's keep your options open. Why you gotta put walls up and just say I'm staying single? Because what if the person shows up? What if the person shows up at the Christmas party? Right? What if your cousin has a situational ship and you find a connection with the other person? Leave the doors open. Come on, man. We're a different generation with all these stay at your job for 20 years and get a gold watch. Come on, man. We changed careers. Okay. You can leave those doors open because the possibilities could be there. So I mean, listen, I would gauge my happy meter. Okay. If the happy meter is a little bit leaning towards relationship, don't settle. All right. I ain't saying settle. Don't just find somebody with a tin can, whatever. Don't settle. I'm just saying that if somebody opens up the door for a relationship and they not some weirdo, why not? You know what I mean? Y'all share some hot cocoa together and figure it out. But don't be shutting them down like, no, another year alone.
Oh, this is also a fun question. So this has definitely happened to me before. So if you just met someone, in early November, early December, do you feel like you're obligated to buy them a gift?
See, there goes. There's the pressure.
Let us know in the chat if you feel like you're obligated to buy them. Because I will say that happened to me one time, and I did feel obligated, like not to buy them like a huge gift. Like it was just something small. I think it was like for me, it was like a character mug or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's still small and it's still thoughtful. But I did run into that idea of like, oh my God, I just met you, like, and it's right by Christmas, and I'm still talking to you, like, do I have to get you a gift? Like, I'm not saying it's like completely, like you're obligated to, but in the moment, sometimes when you're thinking about it, like that's how I felt. Like I felt like I have to get this person something because it's like it's by the holidays, and what happens if they get me something, and then I'm like, oh, I'm empty-handed, and it's like I'd rather not be the one empty-handed. To be honest, I'd rather be like, you know what, from the kindness of my heart, here is a little token from me.
I think most people would get the gift. Because again, promotion is everywhere. Marketing is everything. People are putting these advertisements for gifts, small and big, everywhere. You can't even scroll long without there being some promo on TikTok about buy this for the holidays for the special someone. And you're like, dude, I just met them though. But like I seen one year, they did these little cards where you can open up the card and like the little paper butterfly and a rose will pop up and you can put something in the middle. Now, I was pressured about doing this because they only left room for something like a ring. I said, whoa, you just came around after Halloween. I don't know if a ring is great for this situation. But I mean, I went and, did the typical nice guy thing. I went inside, from Texas. Everything is better at HEB. I went off in there and bought with like a balloon, and they had the little candy and the teddy bear inside, and it was great. It was cool. Just buy one of them little item things that you see at Walmart or something. You'll be all right. You know what I mean? But you didn't have to go out and get like tennis shoes and outfits. Just get you'll be all right. So I think it would be for the most part. You said, are the acts of advice on those events? Yeah, the events are fun. Yes, they are. I've heard all the details. I am planning to actually be out at one of these.
Yeah, you can check us out on Instagram at The Dating Dog. And there's other videos that Tony and I have done, for the media side. And you can definitely go and take a look at them. We're both tagged in them. So feel free to go and explore and learn about us too, because we're always the ones here talking with y'all about dating stuff. Feel free to check that out. It's at The Dating Dog, on Instagram. So just a reminder, one more time, we're going to open up to Q&A now for about 2 minutes. And just a reminder, promo code for men, is more men for 25% off your ticket, Even if you feel like you're pretty close to this age group, I'd still give it a try, honestly. Yeah. And plus, you get a discount for your next ticket. And every time we do a stream, we offer a different kind of promo code and a different kind of incentive. So just always be on the lookout for that. And coming up, especially going into the new year, you might catch me out at the Pearl or La Cantera, and I might be handing out, some vouchers for like, hey, come to our event, like, or I'll, be like, this is a voucher for you to come for, basically like half hour for free. Like, there you go. It's like, and you just happen to be like, you just happen to see me, I happen to see you, and we got talking about it. So let's see. He said, "Well, dude, this is better than Fresh and Fit Mess." Oh, yes, we're aware of that. We appreciate that comment very, very much.
And yes, giving real facts, real situations. We don't have no OnlyFans girls around here. We got real people, real men, real women, people that are serious about real relationships and real situations.
Yeah, so just a reminder one more time is that here's our donation tiers once again. So, you can donate basically like any type of, donation. So like we have 10, 25, 50. Once again, those different tiers, obviously 50 being the most, you can get all those things above plus the personal thank you video from us. Alrighty. Well, I guess this is where we have to say goodbye. But once again, look at our Christmas fits. I was ready. I have the Bader outfit. Oh. This was our Christmas special episode. I had so much fun. Look at my hat.
Ooh,
once again, go check us out on Instagram, okay, at The Dating Doc. And like I said, Tony and I are tagged in a lot of those videos. We've done a lot of fun ones together. So you can also check out as well so that we can get to know more of us. Because like I said, we're always the ones behind the camera. So of course, feel free to get to know us as we always enjoy getting to know you all the time. Okay, so this is a nice one to see. He said, let's see. He said, much appreciated, love the fits. Thanks. We appreciate that so much. Well, this was super fun, guys. Remember, promo code MOREMEN for 25% off your ticket. And we will see you next time on our next pod. Thank you.